On the banks of the Rahini River, two villages prospered, one known for crops, the other for cattle wealth. A dispute arose over water usage, with both villages claiming greater right, leading to tensions and escalating conflicts. Warriors gathered to defend their respective claims. As villagers prepared for a confrontation to settle the inheritance dispute, the Buddha, hearing of the turmoil, journeyed to the river, his presence a beacon of calm in the unrest. As he approached, villagers recognized him and bowed, their anger momentarily subdued by his serene and compassionate demeanor. Beneath the shade of a banyan tree, the Buddha sat, inviting the heads of the villages to step forward. "What brings you here with such rage and determination?" the Buddha asked, his voice gentle yet firm, resonating deeply. The village heads spoke of their claims to the river, each insisting that the water was essential for their survival. The Buddha listened intently, his gaze unwavering, before asking, "What is more precious to you, water or the lives it sustains?" The leaders hesitated, realizing the weight of the question, and responded, "The lives of our people." "Blessed One, then why?" the Buddha continued. "Do you risk those lives for a victory that serves pride rather than harmony?" His words struck the villagers, their expressions softening, as they reflected on the consequences of their actions. Jaya listened, his tear-streaked face a reflection of the chaos within. Buddha continued, his voice steady, "The river sustains without discrimination, nurturing crops and cattle, giving life to all who depend on its grace," the Buddha explained. "So must you act, sharing its gift, for harmony is greater than any inheritance." His words brought silence, as the villagers recognized the futility of their conflict and the importance of unity. Water flows as a symbol of life and connection, the Buddha continued, teaching us to value cooperation over division. By observing the storm without resistance, you find peace. Resistance fuels suffering, Buddha elaborated. Like winds intensifying a storm, acceptance calms the tempest, restoring stillness to the ocean. The disciples shifted, captivated by Buddha's analogy. As the sun set over the Rahini River, its waters mirrored the newfound harmony of the land and its people. The villagers honored the Buddha with offerings and gratitude, promising to live by his teachings of peace and cooperation. The Buddha rose, his presence a reminder of the transformative power of wisdom and compassion in human lives. He left the riverbanks, carrying with him the knowledge that his teachings had sown seeds of peace among the people. Love is pure, but clinging turns love into chains. Freedom lies in unselfish love. What can we learn from its journey? He looked to his disciples expectantly. They pondered in unison, the quiet stretching into the night. Villagers had gathered, whispering about the shameful quarrel that dishonored the memory of their father. "Why do you quarrel over what was given to bring joy, not discord?" the Buddha asked, his voice calm and resonant. The eldest brother stepped forward, explaining their father had left no clear instructions, leading to their bitter dispute. The Buddha listened, his gaze steady, before asking, "Do you remember the wisdom your father lived by? Are only his possessions?" The brothers faltered, unsure of how to answer, their memories clouded by greed and resentment. The Buddha continued, "When a traveler sets forth, does he scatter his provisions, or entrust them wisely to sustain his journey?" The brothers looked at one another, realizing the depth of the question, unable to deny its truth. "Your father trusted you with his wealth," the Buddha said, "not to fight over it, but to preserve his legacy." The brothers lowered their heads, shame washing over them as they considered the harm their actions had caused. "True wealth lies not in gold or possessions," the Buddha explained, "but in unity, kindness, and the virtue of generosity." Mindfulness unveils the transient nature of suffering. He gestured toward a bowl of water, filled with rippling reflections, See this water? Disturbance distorts clarity, yet clarity returns. When we observe disturbance without interference, Buddha clarified, its transience reveals itself, like ripples fading in still waters. The Buddha called upon the brothers to work together, dividing the inheritance with fairness and respect. Guided by love, the brothers reconciled, vowing to live by the principles their father valued, rather than the possessions he left behind. Suffering demands observation, not judgment, Buddha encouraged. Judgment chains us, while observation liberates us to embrace life's cycles. Their acts of generosity spread peace and joy, reinforcing the teachings of the Buddha in the hearts of all who witnessed them. The Buddha left Rajagaya, knowing his teachings had once again sown seeds of harmony and understanding. But Buddha, Jaya persisted. How do I practice mindfulness amid such overwhelming sorrow? Buddha smiled, his presence grounding their collective unease. Through your breath, he advised, the rhythm of life's impermanence. He motioned for the disciples to focus on their inhalations and exhalations. Each breath carries beginnings and endings. The trail led them to a clearing where a single ancient tree stood, its roots anchoring it firmly to the earth. Buddha gestured for them to sit beneath its sprawling branches, the air thick with the scent of moss and bark. The young man replied, Blessed One, my father entrusted me with his wealth, but envy and mistrust plague me from all sides. The Buddha listened intently, his serene gaze offering comfort, as the young man poured out his fears and frustrations. Inheritance is both a gift and a responsibility, the Buddha said, his tone compassionate but firm, guiding the young man's thoughts. It is like a fertile field, the Buddha continued, that bears fruit only if nurtured with care and wisdom. The young man asked, how can I nurture it when those around me seek to take it, leaving me in turmoil? The Buddha responded, true wealth is not measured by possessions, but by the harmony and goodwill you cultivate among others. Generosity is the seed, the Buddha explained, that grows into a harvest of peace, transforming burden into joy and unity. Impermanence does not mean hopelessness, Buddha clarified. It promises renewal, the certainty of change in life's unfolding tapestry. The young man hesitated, saying, but what if I am left with nothing, and my father's legacy is lost to others' greed? An inheritance hoarded is like stagnant water, the Buddha said. It loses its vitality and brings no benefit to anyone. By sharing with discernment, the Buddha continued, you ensure your wealth flows like a river, sustaining life and goodwill. The young man nodded, encouraged by the Buddha's wisdom, feeling the weight of his burden begin to lift from his heart. The Buddha added, let your actions be guided by compassion, for this is the greatest legacy you can honor and preserve. Through generosity and fairness, the Buddha said, you will gain not only peace, but also the respect and friendship of others. The young man rose, bowing deeply to the Buddha, his resolve strengthened by the teachings he had received. The Buddha walked with him to the village, where they gathered the neighbors and relatives who had contested the inheritance. The young man, inspired by the Buddha, offered portions of his wealth to those in need, fostering goodwill among all present. Neighbors praised his fairness, and relatives accepted his wisdom, their hearts softened by his generosity and compassion. The village, once divided by envy, united in harmony, strengthened by the young man's acts of kindness and understanding. The void within him lingered, casting shadows over newfound understanding. Buddha, Jaya began softly, I have observed pain as impermanent. Each carried with them the knowledge that, like the lotus and the river, their hearts could overcome darkness and find the light. Together, they embraced the journey, knowing that the warmth they sought was already within them. Jaya, he said, the void is not the enemy. Can a garden flourish without soil? Buddha asked, thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.